optimal living, living optimally.
We are back with my extra special guest, Cindy Nunnery. Welcome, Cindy, to Optimal Living Starts Here.
Hi, Versandra.
It is such a pleasure to have you here with me today. And I know that you're a very, very, very busy lady because you are such a phenomenal woman. This is a part of our series about her story. And we've heard his story. Everybody knows his story, but we're talking about her story. And my very special guest is definitely a woman that has a story to tell. But not only does she have a story, she helps other women tell their story, whether it is in the professional field, whether it is in the social industry, whether it's in the health industry. She is helping women to basically turn their lives into what their dreams are. She's about helping people fulfill their dreams. So, Cindy, I would like for you to tell our audience a little bit about how did you get started on this path as a health coach, as a Sanoviv consultant, advisor? How did you get started with this?
Oh my gosh, Versandra, I know you've heard this a few times, but I love to share this story because I know I'm not the only one. So hello again, everyone. Cindy Nunnery, and I'm from Michigan, the Mitten State, about right here, just so you know where I'm coming from. Now, my story starts back about 20 years ago, 23 or 25 years ago almost. Oh my goodness. When I was in my very late 30s, when I gave birth to my first baby girl, my daughter, who was 6 weeks early, and she was teeny tiny little preemie. She was 4 pounds, 11 ounces. And she was in the hospital for almost a month. I was 38, almost 38 years old, just shy, about 4 weeks shy of being 38 years old. And after I had her, being so small and being early, and she was having bradycardias, and she needed to be monitored, she had to stay in the hospital almost a month. So, and she came home on a heart monitor for nearly 6 months after. So days after I got her home from the hospital, I could talk about that whole month period on its own, but I'm going to talk about what happened a little bit after because it's so relevant in my story and other people as well. So after I finally got to bring my little teeny tiny little girl home from the hospital, my mother was staying with me because she was going to help, like a lot of moms can do, and she was so great to offer that. But when she was there, I mean, shortly after, within days or a week or so, she was diagnosed with stage 3A inoperable lung cancer and given 18 months to 2 years to live. Now, I have a little baby girl preemie on a little heart monitor that just came home from being in the hospital for 30 days after birth. And my mother's staying with me now with this diagnosis, and I'm almost 38 years old. So what happened? Longevity really just smacked me in the face. It really started staring me right in the eye, and I really couldn't think about the future and what it may look like without having health coming right into it. Because, you know, being of that age, what's happening with my mother, and I think she was mid 60s, right in the middle of her 60s. And about my age right now, I think a couple years older than what I am right now when she was diagnosed. And I couldn't really look at the future without having health there. Okay, so that's when I really started to take health into my own hands. And I started to learn about health coaching for myself. So everything that got me into health was all about how can I stay healthy, because I have this little girl who I didn't know what her future was going to look like at that time, being a preemie, what her needs were going to be, and just knowing that she would probably need me more than most other children, given what we know about, early birth and all of that. So knock on wood, 25 years later, almost 25, 24 and a half, she's doing fabulous. And yes, and here's the key thing with my mother. So she just passed away last October of 2022. So they gave her 18 months to 2 years to live. She jumped on, she did everything medical, but she also did a whole lot of stuff from a health perspective for herself that had her live another 24 years with the diagnosis that wasn't. So my story is really that, because we all have something, but when we can really start to understand health for ourselves and do the things that can really impact life, that's a really big story. I do things with clients really simple, like it could be, just getting them more energy so they can pursue their dreams more. But that shares a little bit about my story.
Yes, yes. And it is such a wonderful story, because I know that many of our viewers are probably listening and watching right now, and they're saying, what? She was able to extend her life by 20 plus years. How exactly did that happen? We're going to get into that a little bit more, guest, because we want you to know, first of all, that no matter what the prognosis or diagnosis is, if you recognize that health in your hands, if you take health into your own hands, you can shift the trajectory of how you will live as far as your well-being and your total wellness, mind, body, and spirit. So we're going to get deeper into this story, but I want to get into how we first met.
Oh, what a story.
Wonderful day.
And this, I'm sure you're gonna share this, but things were meant to be. So
yes, they're always meant to be. And that's exactly what you said to me on that very first day. We were at a women's empowerment event. It was Real Women Like Us. And there we were at this wonderful conference center with hundreds of women. And somehow you found me at my vendor booth, but it was after you saw me on the stage and I was one of the presenters there. Maybe you can tell the story a little better than I can, because my audience gets to hear me tell stories all the time. What was your first thoughts about our meeting on that day?
Oh my goodness, there were many, and it is quite interesting because you presented and I was just a participant at the event, and you were a vendor presenter at the event. So when you presented, there was something, I don't honestly remember what your presentation was on, but that's, other than empowering women, something in that. But when you presented, what you put off and out into the whole event, there was something that it was like, I need to meet this lady. I need to find out, because there's something that we're supposed to be together on. There was something, and I didn't know what it was. When you got off the stage and they opened up the vendor area, you were the first table. I think you were probably, I went to the jewelry lady on one side, and that was it. That was it, because my whole thing was about, who you were, how you were, and just your whole beautiful self that was portrayed on the stage.
Oh my goodness. And you would think that happened maybe about a year or two ago, but I found a video and it was 2012.
Wow.
It's 2023 now. So we're talking about 11 years ago, and that one meeting where no one really introduced us, it was, some people would call it chance, but you said even on that day that nothing is by chance. Everything is meant to be. and I didn't know what you were talking about. I'm like, okay, I believe in fate. I believe that, in serendipity. I believe in divine appointments, all of that. But I'm like, well, what could it be? We got together and we had lunch, I think it was, and we had a wonderful conversation and we got to know one another. And you really helped me to understand not just that you were working in the health industry and that you were helping women transform their lives, but you actually showed me that you were interested in more than just sharing a product or service with me. You were interested in building a relationship. In fact, you ended up becoming a business partner with me. We joined forces. Next thing you know, we're traveling together and we're in, oh my God, what is it? Oh my God, where were we?
Utah.
Utah. Yes, yes, yes. We were in Utah a couple of times, 2, 3 times. We were there celebrating the successes of your team. We were celebrating the successes of all of the other thousands of individuals who were also a part of this amazing health and wellness company that is still transforming lives today. And I want to use this as an opportunity to get into how you have decided that you don't want to just be a businesswoman, just getting checks and making money. You want to be a person of purpose. You want to change the world, literally, one person at a time. Tell us more about why you have decided that your way of doing business would be such that it would be more than just transactional.
Yes, I love that. And thank you for asking that question, because when my daughter was born in 1998, we met in 2012. 2012 was the year I graduated from nutrition school in the spring. And then in the fall, I went down to Sonavive Functional Medical Facility and got my Sonavive Nutrition Advisor Certificate. So a lot was happening in 2012. And that's why it was just like everything started to come in. Now, what happened when my daughter was born in 1998? I was working. I was a vice president in a company, and I was very business. I was very focused on that. I didn't work just 8 hours a day. I worked multiple hours through the weekend doing everything. And when she was home after a very short time off for giving birth, I had to go back to work. And here I am trying to take care of a premature baby, trying to nurse her, trying to help my mom and work and run a company. I was a partner with my brother in a technology company. And that changed everything, because I said, this is not going to help my health future at all. It was just way too stressful. So I decided, as I was going through and doing a lot of learning and training and educating on myself, when I finally finished nutrition school, one of the many things I did, I said, okay, now's the time to really, really get out. I had left that, we sold the company a few years prior to that. So I was really a stay-at-home mom trying to do things for myself. And I finally said, you know what? Everybody's asking me what I'm doing. I mean, I'm 61. I just turned 61. Everybody's like, how? And I'm in school, and I had another child after that. And everybody's like, how are you doing all this for your health? And you don't look your age. And I'm like, well, good genes and many other things that I do for myself. And that's what catapulted me into wanting to help other people and do it as a business, not just for myself. Yeah. It really came from, people asking. And it's how rewarding is it to make a difference in people's way that they live their life every day and their longevity, and to give them simple tools and to support them and help them break through mindset things that might be holding them back, to have a life they love and they want to live every day. And even though, yes, we all have our ups and downs and all of that, it's, you know, it's about living our life every day. And when we have illness and energy issues and sleep issues and gut issues and all these other issues, we can't do that. So that's really what catapulted me into this whole health and wellness coach. I call myself a wellness advocate because it's not about perfection, but it's about wellness and taking steps every chance you can. If that answers your question, for Sandra.
It really does. It really does. And one thing I can remember, because as I was preparing for the show today, I really had to go down memory lane and just thinking about from the beginning of our interactions until now. And we've stayed connected every single year. If it's not just one call a year, we stay connected.
Yes,
and we
do.
make sure that we check in with one another. And that's besides social media, because, we're always connected on social media. Thank goodness for that as a tool and a resource to keep us connected. But one thing that I remembered was in that first meeting, and you were telling me about the amazing products that you were representing, and you were a dynamic brand ambassador for USANA Health Sciences. And I had heard about the company. In fact, I had a full presentation. I knew that it was something I wanted to do. It was something that I needed for me to be healthy and well. I was going through a period in my life at the time. I think I was right around the crossing over the 40 mark, and 39 to be exact. And so I was having some issues with my gut. I didn't even know it was about my gut. I just knew that my stomach was bothering me from time to time. And I wasn't getting enough exercise, those type of things. And I was also in a transitional place in my life where my finances were not such that I didn't know that I should invest in me first. And so I'm running around talking, I can't afford these supplements. I can't afford da-da-da-da-da. Poverty consciousness. Boy, did I have it. But I didn't stay with that. You told me about how I could earn my nutritional supplements by sharing what I believe was good with other people. And I said to myself, oh my God, here's another one. Someone's trying to get me involved in a pyramid scheme or something. And, that's what a poverty consciousness will do for you. And I'm saying it out loud. I'm just going ahead and saying, I'm guilty. I was guilty of that. And I did not believe in myself enough to say that this is an investment in me, in my health, in my well-being. It was something that at that time, if I really had known what I know now, I probably would have went running all to every place I could be seen, telling the world about this new thing that I had found, because it truly transformed my life. As my body began to heal and be restored, it takes about 7 years for your almost whole entire body to be regenerated from the cellular level. And that is one of the key things about this particular product line, is that it does heal at the cellular level. And I saw my body change. I saw my skin change. And just like you, Cindy, here I am, almost at the crust of 60. I'm turning 59 in just a month. And I feel like I'm 35. And it's all because you stuck with me first. You didn't just let me fall off to the side because my mind wasn't prepared. You shared some things. You gave me some samples. You invited me to special events. And then you asked me, what did I want? You asked me, what was I looking to do? And I told you I wanted to speak. I wanted to tell my story about health and wellness. I wanted to inspire other people. And you began to put me in front of audiences I was nowhere near where I am now as far as my ability to communicate effectively. But you put me where I said I wanted to be in order for me to practice becoming the person that I am today. And I just want to thank you in front of all of our thousands of people watching on television, on Beam, and then on YouTube, because you didn't give up. You saw something in me and you said, if that's what you want to do, as long as you're hanging out with me, I'm going to give you the opportunity to be that person that you're looking to be. So thank you, Cindy.
Oh, thank you. Love you.
Yes, and that's really why I like to share her story, because her story is different from his story. We do things with passion and purpose. That feminine energy within us, it kind of beckons us to grab another sister by the hand and say, hey, we can do this together. And so that was just so empowering. And I definitely wanted to share this, but I want to share a few more things about Cindy, because you guys don't know. She's been featured on the Dr. Oz show. Just in case you didn't see her live, I want you to know you could probably go back on YouTube and watch her share her expertise as it relates to gut health and even aging. Oh my God, I want to talk about that for a few moments, because just as we spoke about it in this interview, you're 61, I'm 59. What do you feel is most important that our audience would need to know as it relates to this aging process and their ability to take some form of control as it relates to how it shows up in their life?
Oh my gosh. That's a great question. And there's, I know you as well believe in this. Everybody's body is different, right? Everybody's health is different. An approach to somebody's health needs to be really personal and personalized. But for some general, I guess, bigger things, I think the first thing that I always talk about and work on with any coaching client, whether it's a one-on-one or a group, or even if I'm speaking to an audience of many, is mindset. And it's not just your traditional mindset on, all the foo-foo stuff around mindset. It really is on mindset that you have the power, you do have the ability, and you already know what you need to be doing for your health. Most people, if I ask them, and I generally do within the first 5 minutes of a coaching call, do you know what you need to be doing? And they're like, yes. And then 10 minutes later, they stop telling me all the things that they should be doing, and they're all 100% spot on, right? But there's something that stops people, right? And it's the mindset and our ability to get back up after we've fallen, right? Get back up after we make a health mistake. Nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. Oh my goodness. I eat pizza. I drink wine. I have an imperfect exercise and fitness. But it's not about that. It's really about if you can get a handle on your mindset, and you can then take a step, do something that will help you with your energy, help you to be able to live every day. That's where the vitamins came in for, I think, you and me both. Yeah. Because I've been on that brand and searched out many for 20 years now. And I feel a difference. I still feel a difference every day. If I skip taking my vitamins, I don't have the energy in the afternoon. If I skip and for some reason I forgot to take them in the morning. So there's little things that you can do once you do your mindset, and you can overcome things like what you were talking about, this mindset that you had about, oh my gosh, whatever it is, once you can get past that and you just start to do, and you just be aware, it's really unstoppable with what you can do. And I do have to make a qualifying statement here. I'm not a doctor. I'm not didn't go to medical school. So I'm not, none of this is to diagnose, treat, or cure anything going on out there, but we can make an impact before we get sick or health. It's called preventative. We can make an impact with ourselves during any process and even after diagnosis by helping our bodies be strong and building and doing things for it so that it can really help you positively, not negatively.
Yes, yes, absolutely, Cindy. And what I really appreciate is that what you're saying right now, this whole thing, they use this term bio individuality. That is really what you're talking about. And we are both health coaches. We study, at Institute for Integrative Nutrition. That's something else that we did together. You brought me on board and you said, Versandra, this is something I think you would really benefit from. And I jumped right on in and brought a few people in with me as well who are now health coaches. And that gave us a strong foundation for what we are doing and sharing in the world today. But that whole thing about understanding the customization that is required for each individual and why everybody needs to have their own health coach. That's just what I say. Every
100%.
family should have a health coach for the entire family. And if that were the case, just imagine how this world would look with everyone receiving the support. Think about it like this. You go to a doctor, you get a checkup, you find out what your stats are, if you will, and you got numbers and everything that reflect, your blood pressure, how your everything is functioning. All your systems are functioning in your body. But then when it comes down to the maintenance of it all, you're kind of left out there on your own. Maybe go watch a video or maybe visit a website or take this brochure. But the encouragement, having someone that you can have as an accountability partner, someone that you can check in with and tell them about what's new and good.
Someone that will hold you accountable for your mindset and help you get past it and, do all that. Yes.
Yes. Those are the things that we do as health coaches. And that's why what we do is so very important and why it's now become mainstream and hospitals and medical systems now have health coaches, even though we were involved in this before it became a mainstream thing. So I want to take a moment now. I know we're going to do it at the end of this episode, but I want to take a moment now for you to maybe share how people can connect with you as it relates to your social media, because social media is big. And a lot of people are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, all those things. And I know you're everywhere too. How would they find you on social media?
Well, it's very, very simple. Under all the platforms, I am at Cindy Nunnery. And then you'll see the crazy red hair. I have my photos out there. So at Cindy Nunnery on Instagram, I am doing some really powerful things on Instagram right now. I change it up every now and then, but there's some really great things going on Instagram right now and some things that are coming out. Facebook, the same at Cindy Nunnery. I also have a Facebook group, a free nutrition Facebook group, which is Powered by Nutrition Lounge. So if you put that in there or you go to www.poweredbynutritionlounge.com, it'll take you right to the Facebook group. And then the same with LinkedIn, Cindy Nunnery. And I don't do so much on Twitter these days or TikTok, really more just watch on those. But Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and then YouTube. I'm getting started doing some more on YouTube. So again, Cindy Nunnery on YouTube.
Absolutely. Now that Powered by Nutrition Lounge, I know for a fact that's a great place for resources. What you are doing there is phenomenal. Everything that's on there, even if you start, if you go there, it's a private group. So you definitely have to request to be a part of the group. If you want to use my name, just drop my name or drop Optimal Living Starts Here. I'm sure she will let you into this private group. But once you get inside, what you're going to find is engagement and interaction with other people who are like-minded, that are looking for the same thing, living healthy, happy lives. But you're going to also find recipes. You're going to see Cindy whipping up things in the kitchen because she loves to showcase some of her wonderful skills in creating healthy meals, and sometimes not even a full meal. I love those shakes that you do, Cindy. You do these
I'm a
amazing
smoothieaholic.
varieties. Yes, yes, yes. And she really demonstrates how this is a lifestyle. It's not just something you do every now and then, every once and again. This is a lifestyle, which means that you have to start over and over and over again, if you must, to maintain that lifestyle. So that's a wonderful resource for you. But I also want to talk about the fact that you're an author. Tell us about, I think you probably have more than one book. Tell us about your books.
Well, I have, oh my goodness, I'm an author. I did a collaboration book called Bold is Beautiful a few years back. I still have some copies here, although I don't quite have it for sale on my website at the moment, but I'm not sure why. So I'm going to look into that. I think maybe I just might have taken it off. But Bold is Beautiful, which is stories of, I think it was about 29 women, and just different stories about times in their life when they had to be bold, and much of it as around some health things or some events that had to happen, some healing processes. And that's what catapulted me. I do have quite a few ebooks, and then I've got quite a few in the works coming up. So I'm looking to really expand more into that author field again.
Yes, yes, yes. And so as we speak about the whole author thing, you speak. Like I said, you've been on the Dr. Oz show. You also present at various organizations. I've seen you a part of phenomenal organizations in your community, in your state. Tell us more about how you are using your voice to share this message of health and wellness.
Well, I think for anybody in the health and wellness in any field, I mean, marketing's my background. So that's what I graduated with, business and all of that. But social media is a great way for people to connect, and also speaking. And I know since 2020, a lot of things are just really coming back. 2023, a little bit last year, but now it's really coming back to get and do some more in-person speaking. But what happened in 2020 is this format. So this is speaking, by the way. So this is sharing your voice. What you have to do to learn how to share your voice is really become more confident with yourself. And that's where the mindset comes in. That's where feeling good about yourself comes in. And then being comfortable to just share your story, because there's other people out there that can have a difference made in their lives by your story. And when I say your story, Versandra, anybody listening here, whether they're a health coach or not, myself, and as a health coach, using stories to help make that difference with people is phenomenal. And I love speaking. Obviously, you can tell I want to get out and do a few more things. And I've done speaking on a whole variety of things, health related, social media related, business related, on speaking, because I took a speaking course, and many different things. But the authentic voice, when somebody is talking to you, and I see this in you, Versandra, it was one of the things I saw that first day that we met was, and you said that word, was your authentic self was showing. So it's not just speak your voice, it's who you are as an authentic person. And anybody that's looking out there, even if we take this back to health and wellness, when you're looking for your medical support team, because everybody needs to have doctors and things, at least for some checkpoints and all of that. When you're doing that, you really want to look to see and look in their eyes and see, are they really truly in what they're doing because it's part of who they are in on the inside, who they're supposed to be. It's part of who their authentic self is. And when you see that and when you feel that, that's the person that's going to help you. And I say that because that's part of how we met. And a lot of my clients that come, and even on speaking on stage, they're like, there's just something about you, Cindy, that just, I knew I had to talk to you. And it's like, awesome. Is it everybody? No, but not everybody's supposed to be a client of mine, you know, but it's really, it's really just getting out there and just getting comfortable sharing who you are. And today in 2023, with all the stuff that's happened in the last, 3, 4, 5 years, this is what we have. We have right now, right? We have right now to speak our voice, to make a difference, to get healthier, to start a new business, to, do whatever it is that we want to do. So we might as well start doing it.
Yes, just do it. Just do it. Cindy, we're going to take a quick break, and to our audience, stay tuned, because when we come back, we're going to dig a little bit deeper into the mindset around health. And we are also going to talk about overcoming challenges. So stay tuned.
Optimal living, living optimally.
And I know that you are so excited about my special guest as we are continuing this conversation about health and wellness, sharing her story. I want you to know, Cindy, that you are touching the lives of people right now as we are having this interview, because so many people are just wondering, how do you move forward after you've had a setback? You've had life obstacles, you've had things that happen. How do you get back up after you've been knocked down on your back? Tell our audience some of the things that come to mind as you consider supporting individuals that are ready. They say that they're ready. They got their hand up. They said, I want to be more. I want to do more. What do you say to them?
Okay, I've got a two-prong approach to that. So there's the big things that happen in life and big setbacks, and then there's things that can happen every day. So on the bigger side of it, when we have things that knock us down, much like my mother's death did last October, it's just when you have a death of anyone that you love, it can be life-changing, even if you're prepared for it, right? Or you get fired, or you get a divorce, or there's so many other huge life things. So those things can just take the rug right under you. You want to make sure that you have your support system, right? And Versandra talked about that a little bit on what coaches do. And it's not even necessarily that you just need a coach, but you need to have a support system. You need to connect with people that will be there to help keep you lifted when you are falling. And that can be in person. That can be on things like this. It can be on the telephone. It can even be on social media. There's people that I go to on social media that they don't know they are a mentor of mine, because they don't know that I even exist. They don't know that who they are and what they're doing makes a difference with me in my life. So on the bigger things, you want to just make sure that you understand that stuff happens in life. It's going to, but it doesn't have to be the end of your movement forward, right? You're living your life to the greatest it is, and being able to do what it is that you want to do with your life. So that's just a little touch on, right? So there's a whole bunch of stuff on big life events and things that happen. Now, on a daily basis, okay, because this is big for everybody. We are out there, and I think probably a lot of people are trying to live a healthier lifestyle, especially in the last few years, right? Just want to be healthy, want to have a stronger immune system, want to, be able to fight things off better, right? All these things, we don't know what's coming. So every day we can get challenges, we can make mistakes, we can kind of move off our track. And it's really, what do we do in those cases? Because we don't want to wait until the next Monday to start over again, right? So this is about starting over and over and over and over, but not waiting to start every Monday, right? Which is a pretty common thing. I'll just wait till next week. So then we just go really bad the rest of the time that we have in this week. So it's about taking that moment and then being able to make a decision. How do we do? What do we do? I just went out and I just had, this big burger and fries, and I feel like crap. And here my blood sugar's starting to go up and down, and it's like I'm tired and that, and you just keep going. Once you can kind of see, and I use this trick, I'm not going to do it on here. It's not a trick. I use this with my coaches, this analogy of the hand. Do you remember that, Versander?
Yes.
The hand. And maybe I'll do a little YouTube video on that and get that posted, because it's very, very powerful. When you can see where you have a challenge and you're kind of knocked off a notch or two, or even multiple, your game that you're on, right? Especially on health and wellness, take a moment. And I tell all my coaching people this: if you can, go outside. I'm sitting right by a window for a reason. Go outside, put your palms up and put your face in the sun and get that energy going back. It is amazing, amazing in 30 seconds, that natural energy and what it can do for your body, your mindset, your energy. So that's one really simple thing. And you might have to do it multiple times a day. When you're going out, if you're walking the dog, make sure you put your face up in the sun every now and then. Take off the sunglasses and take a moment. We cover up, we do all this stuff, but we really need the energy. That's a big one. That'll change the energy going through your cells. It'll change your mindset. That will help you get back on track in that moment. Breathing, a 4-4-4 or an 8-8-8, or there's so many different kinds of breathing where you do the deep diaphragmatic breathing for a minute or two, right? That can stop the stress hormones when you're in a point of stress. Maybe it's a thing with the boss, the husband, the child, whoever it is, and you just got all this stress going on. We got to stop that, because if we don't, it's going to keep us on that trajectory that doesn't have us on the path that we want to be on. And then, just drinking a nice big glass of water and just taking a moment to sit, right? And just, sit back and just let the rainstorms happen around us, because eventually they stop. So a few little quick things like that. And if it continues on, then you just follow up with a good meal, a good healthy meal. Just feeds your body. I mean, there's a lot of things, a lot of things that you can do to get back up. The thing is, don't stay down. Get up and start over. If you have to start over every hour, start over every hour. If you have to start over every day, start over every day. Just keep starting over.
Mm-hmm.
You'll
Keep
stay ahead.
starting over. Yes. Over and over and over until your last breath. You have to keep starting over. I love that. Yep. And I know that there is something that you do on an ongoing basis that is something that it just really feeds me. It feeds my spirit. Just coming together in a circle online now, virtual. The virtual spa sessions that you're doing, Cindy. Yes. Oh my God. You're talking about surrounding yourselves with a wonderful community, even in the virtual spa sessions that I have attended and several of my clients have attended. We found that taking the time to care for your own skin bringing nutrition into your own skin. And the process that you take us through is absolutely phenomenal for re-energizing, reinvigorating us on the outside and on the inside. So tell our audience a little bit more about those virtual spa days and how they might be able to participate in one that's coming up very, very soon.
Yay, that's awesome. I love those. When the world shut down in 2020, a lot of us had to pivot how we do our business. And I was one of them. And so were some fellow health coaches and business partners of mine from around the country. And that's when the virtual spa whole thing came to life, because we had to pivot really quick. And this online space was the way to go. And we were stressed, and we were worried about health and all of that stuff going on in 2020. So we started this, and I say we because I am one of, we do two things: collaborative coaches, which we do all health related webinars and health related things. And then there's the virtual spa, which is health related, but it's more on the beauty. So we call ourselves the beauty bosses. So there's four of us. I'm one of four, one in Montana, one in Virginia, one in Vermont, and myself in Michigan. And we come together online using Zoom. And we bring women together from around the country. And actually, we've had people from around the world join in on these spas for an hour of wonderful self-care, skin knowledge and education. And you actually get to do a mini facial in your own home. We send you out a spa kit, and we go through and we walk through, we do it with you. And what it does, like you said, skin is your largest organ. So we got to take care of it on the outside. We got to take care of it on the inside. So that's where it fits in with health and wellness, but it's also a down self-care time, and it's a little education time, and it's a chance to sit back. We call it a sip and scrub, a virtual spa sip and scrub, because we do this beautiful charcoal scrub, and we're sipping on whatever it is we want to sip on. Sometimes it's electrolyte, sometimes it's tea, sometimes it's a little bit stronger. I generally have a collagen martini. So you can do that because you're getting the good with you. So they're really, really wonderful. On my website at cindynunnery.com, under resources, if you just hover under resources, it might be also in the main menu there. It'll say free spa kit. If you click on that, it's going to take you to a form, just a simple form. I just need your name, your email, your address, so I know where to send it to. And I just ask one question about your skincare. I'll get you a mini spa kit. I forgot to grab it in the other room for Sandra. I'm sorry, but it's this cute mini spa kit that has the products that you need, and a couple extra ones. Sometimes I send a detox tea, sometimes a little electrolyte, sometimes a probiotic, sometimes all of those in there, just to have a fun little thing arrive at your door for you. And then you join online with, a bunch of other people, anywhere from 5 to 50. It all depends. We've had 150 on before, but right now it's between 5 and 50. And we just sit and we have fun talking, doing this self-care at the same time, and really taking time to relax, learn a little bit more, because we do share about skin, but we also share about some other wellness things about the body, and you just enjoy it. So I will send out to you, if you put it, go fill out that form. I will add you to the list and get the information out for the next one, which is coming up, I think, in third week in March, I believe.
Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. So I will also make that form available. So if you are listening or tuning in right now and you want to join Cindy Nunnery for the next virtual spa, what do you call it? Sip and scrub. Sip and scrub. you can reach out to cindynunnery.com, or you can reach out to me at optimallivingretreats.com, and I will make sure that you have access to this form so that you can have your products sent to you in the mail. Your virtual spa kit will be all set with the things that you will need for this virtual spa experience. I invite you to make sure that your room is, you set the environment, light your candles, put on your relaxing music and everything, and prepare yourself. You'll need to come with a clean face, so make sure you wash your face and everything. Come there ready to receive and enjoy this virtual experience. That's what we're doing today in this new world post-pandemic. We are finding ways to stay connected. Even though there might be distance that separates you, you can still be connected using these virtual platforms.
I think it was the good thing that came out of all of this is that we have now learned how to connect through a camera. I mean, I'm looking at you and you're looking at me, and we can connect, and we're learning to connect more that way, which just expands our circle of people that we need, our community that we need around us, and that other people need us in theirs to be able to move through this crazy world that we have,
Yes.
these days. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
have some quotes for Sandra. So, I'm
Yes.
a quote junkie. So before you sign off, I want to read a couple,
Yes.
because it's some things that can get in. And I find that when I share these, it's like this one behind me. It says, be so happy that when other people look at you, they are happy too. I have quotes all over. I'm in my home right now. I have quotes all over because they move me, and they happen to move a lot of people. They get something that changes the serotonin in our brain when we connect with something. So can I read one or two or
Please
three?
do. Please
Okay.
do.
Need my glasses for this. Okay, so, and this goes back to, what can you do? What are some simple things that you can do? What can you do to get maybe out of a mindset, a mind frame, all of that. So this one's a simple one. Visualize yourself succeeding. Big, just visualize yourself succeeding. When you feel frustrated by slow progress, remind yourself that good things take time.
I like that one.
Okay. Another one is discipline is choosing your life instead of just letting it happen to you.
Yes.
And that's the big life events, things that can come crashing down. And then this is a big one. Struggles happen, accept it, and keep going. So, I mean, I have my phone is just filled with quotes, and I put them out, and it's one way that I support people. My clients, I text them every now and then if I think I found something in the middle of a day, they're unexpected, but they fill me. So I just wanted to share a few, and I post them all over my social media too. So
I'm so happy you did that. And I definitely believe in the power of words, and those quotes are so important. Affirmations are so very important. And as we are preparing to close out today's episode, I would like you to maybe share the one last time how people would contact you if they're interested in reaching out for health coaching, for other type of assistance as it relates to nutrition and wellness. Please share with our audience how they can reach you, Cindy.
Oh, thank you. And thank you so much for having me on, for Sandra. It was truly, truly an honor. So one of the first things I would say, if you're on Facebook, go join my Powered by Nutrition lounge. I call it a lounge because it's casual. It's like we're sitting around and we're sharing things in this way that is not, in your face, and it's everything. Lots of quotes, lots of recipes, lots of just different things that get shared in there. It's a great step. And then at Cindy Nunnery, you can follow. It's my personal page, but there's also that follow button. If you don't want to friend me, that's fine. Just hit the follow button, and you can follow that on Facebook as well as at Cindy Nunnery on Instagram. And then cindynunnery.com, my website, and that's where you can put your name on the list for the Spock it and join my email list and see if there's anything else on my website that might, be something that could help you, and the contact page there if you wanted to reach out. So you can message me through any of the social media platforms or the contact form through my website.
Awesome, awesome, Cindy. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm adding some of these as you were speaking. I'm going to add some of your tips into my new book. I have a new book that's releasing next month, in fact, and it is How to Become Healthy, Happy, and Rich. And so
Awesome.
I'm going to add some of your tips into that book because I think they're so very important. Most importantly, though, is the virtual spa. I really want to bring that point out to people because we are living in a new world these days. I don't think we'll ever go back to where we were pre-pandemic. So we have to know that the world is continuing on, but it's looking different and we're doing things differently. And so I want to add that in as a tip and a resource for individuals. So thank you so much for joining us today on Optimal Living Starts Here, where we are empowering military families, veterans, and their families to live more healthy, happy lives. And for now, we're out and we're looking forward to seeing you on the next episode.
Optimal living.